2020 was a perfect storm of unprecedented challenges that have underscored the need for even greater urgency in the way we approach cybersecurity. COVID-19 accelerated the shift to telework across our 50 states and territories, expanding the attack surface for malicious cyber actors and making it more complicated for government, academia, and industry to secure the networks they rely on. Malicious cyber actors also took advantage of hospitals as they struggled with rising demand, targeting them with ransomware and wreaking havoc at the worst possible time. And nation-state actors launched a global campaign using a sophisticated supply chain hack to breach public and private networks alike. These are just a few examples among thousands of cyber incidents that plagued our country in 2020. Fortunately, it's not all bad news. We've made a shift as a community to stop merely assessing and start addressing cyber threats. We're forging new partnerships through forums like this one to generate greater successes than what we could have ever achieved alone. Hello, I'm Dave Luber, Deputy Director of Cybersecurity at the National Security Agency. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. Like all of you, we want to make it harder for our foreign adversaries to achieve their objectives in cyberspace by raising the cybersecurity bar for our nation and our allies, and we are honored to partner with you. As a federal agency and an employer of citizens from across the states, we are bolstered in knowing that you recognize the criticality of this moment in time for cybersecurity, and we are also driving change. Today, I'd like to talk to you about three fundamental elements of our cybersecurity approach: building trust, prioritizing efforts against the greatest risks, and enhancing public-private sector partnerships. We hope this will be helpful to you as you consider your own cybersecurity strategies. First, let's talk about building trust. NSA has had a long legacy in cryptography. Our mission is to prevent and eradicate foreign threats to our nation's most sensitive systems and critical infrastructure, including national security systems, Department of Defense systems, and the defense industrial base. As an intelligence community agency, we historically operated out of the public view to protect sensitive sources and methods. For too long, we stayed in the shadows at the expense of transparency and trust. This deeply impacted our cybersecurity mission. Network defenders won't take action unless they trust the source of the guidance. So when we created the new Cybersecurity Directive more than a year ago, we intentionally pivoted to a more public approach, proactively engaging with the external community as well as the media and the general public. Our new directorate better integrates our threat intelligence, vulnerability analysis, and technical expertise into an action-oriented, public-facing organization. We've begun accepting public attribution for our contributions to the cybersecurity community, such as our discovery and disclosure of critical cryptographic vulnerabilities in Windows 10 last year. We've also begun publicly attributing the activities of our adversaries to include highlighting the vulnerabilities that nation-state actors are currently exploiting. We launched a Twitter handle @NSA Cyber to engage directly with more technical audiences. We've disseminated actionable technical guidance in the form of more than 30 cybersecurity products, all posted on nsa.gov. And on our public-facing website, we've shared our perspectives and our thought leadership on nuanced technical issues such as post-quantum computing. Finally, we released our first ever year in review, a comprehensive document that details progress made towards cryptographic modernization, cybersecurity for the COVID-19 vaccine, 5G security architecture advancements, and much more. You can find this report on nsa.gov as well as on our Twitter handle @NSA Cyber. By sharing what we know publicly at the unclassified level, we are providing vital threat context that compels network defenders to take action. We hope that the sum of these activities will not only build trust with the community, but will also be helpful and provide actionable information for network defenders and C-suite executives alike. Moving on to the second core component of our strategy is our rigorous prioritization to drive down risk. Our adversaries adapt to our defenses, so we need to take an agile, risk-based approach to meet the demands of the changing threat landscape. For example, to protect key weapons and space systems from adversary cyber intrusions, we've partnered closely with the DoD and military services on a new cybersecurity program focused on the most important weapons and space systems. This initiative, known as the Strategic Cybersecurity Program, embodies the mindset of stop assessing and start addressing. The SCP identified 12 key weapons and space systems that must be evaluated for cybersecurity vulnerabilities which need to be mitigated. This is either due to existence of intelligence indicating they're being targeted by adversaries or because the systems are particularly important to warfighting. These systems cover all warfighting domains: air, land, sea, space, and cyber. Under the auspices of the SCP, we're working with partners to conduct cybersecurity evaluations on these systems. Most importantly, by maintaining cyber risk scorecards and increasing accountability, we're reducing cyber risk to acceptable levels. And we're applying this risk-based, prioritized approach to all of our cybersecurity efforts. In light of current events, we encourage everyone to prioritize vulnerable software supply chains and procurement processes. Which brings me to the third pillar in our strategy, the need to expand public-private sector collaboration. A few months ago, the National Governors Association released a call to action entitled Managing Cyber Threats Through Effective Governance. I read it, and one of my key takeaways was the observation as a nation we're fighting cyber battles as many separate entities when we need to be fighting as one unified force. It's true, cybersecurity is the ultimate team sport. We're not in this alone, nor do we want to be. We have to pursue unprecedented partnerships unified around shared cyber challenges, threats, and opportunities. As an example, where we've seen partnerships work well is through our joint efforts to protect the recent elections from foreign interference. The question becomes, how do we scale this type of model for future use cases? We need an end state where we are providing continuous, agile information sharing among federal, state, and local officials on other areas of interest in real time. One example is solar winds. This compromise has been a sobering reminder of a stark reality. No public or private entity is immune to cyber breaches. The APT actor that perpetrated this global intrusion campaign targeted a private sector technology provider that serves both government and corporate clients, then used that to gain a foothold into their victims' networks. No one party or partner would have been positioned to defeat this threat alone. Successfully combating sophisticated cyber adversaries must be a collaborative effort between industry, intelligence, law enforcement, and other partners. It's crucial that we work together to enhance collective cybersecurity to defend against actors like this one. Starting last year, we began enhancing the support we provide to the private sector, with a particular focus on the defense industrial base and its service providers. Because DIB companies build components and systems that underpin our national security and defense, they're ideal targets for adversary exploitation and have remained vulnerable to intrusions from nation-state actors. In response, we've begun conducting direct information sharing with DIB network defenders. We've also launched an unclassified cybersecurity collaboration center to conduct analytical exchanges with numerous private sector partners on shared threats. Stay tuned for more to come on that this year. As we move forward, my call to action is threefold. First, be an advocate for us as we seek to build trust with the cybersecurity community. You can help by amplifying our efforts. Second, take a hard look at the state of your cybersecurity posture. Make it harder for your most sensitive information to be exploited by developing a risk-based approach. And third, partner with us as we explore new ways to enhance public-private partnerships and information sharing. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you today. We welcome your thoughts, ideas, and feedback. You can reach us at cybersecurity@nsa.gov or on Twitter @NSACyber. Enjoy the rest of the event.